Welcome to Sykes, the Bottom Line Pharmacy Podcast, your regular dose of pharmacy CPA advice to fuel your bottom line, featuring pharmacists, key vendors, and other innovators.
Your checks, yes, you can call me, because we the best, Sykes and Company.
That movie's so good.
We watched it again the other night. I got it recorded and I just every year just turn it on. So good.
It says like, bend over and I'll show you, but and then the guy's like, what's he say? He's like, I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah. It's the best. And if you there was a version of it that we used to watch that I had recorded on something, but now it's different. And I've got apparently the full version and there's scenes in it that it was not in the original one I used to watch. So it's even funnier. It's good. What's your favorite Christmas movie, Scotty?
Oh, man. That's a good question. I'd be able to tell you if you didn't ask me.
Is it going to be something?
I got it. Obviously, Christmas Vacation. I mean, come on, classic. But, Carol got me on an old classic movie, Bing Crosby, Holiday Inn.
I have not seen this.
Great movie. Love it. That's a good one. You know
what else is going to go down as a classic? Which I thought it was newer, but it's not. It's Elf. Elf is 20 years old, I believe. I think I saw the other day.
I can't do Elf.
I love Elf. Everything about it is great. My kids love it, and they everywhere we go, for like in any city that's bigger than Edenton, they're like, if they go in an elevator, they're hitting all the buttons like he does. They're hopping across the street on the lines. There's an escalator. They're like got their legs stretched.
I did watch last night a Biltmore Christmas Hallmark movie.
Ooh.
Pretty good for a Hallmark.
Yeah, I'm not a Hallmark Christmas movie person. It's probably because I watch true crimes and all that stuff all year. So getting into like the gushy holiday movies aren't for me.
I'm not thinking about. What are some other Christmas movies? Home Alone's a classic. Come on.
The first one. I don't care for the second and the third and all that.
The second one's not bad.
The first one, Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, Pete's been watching that on repeat. I mean, it's on every day at our house. Home Alone. I
could watch that every day with Pete. It's a good one. I don't know why, but I also like Christmas with the Cranks. I'm not sure why.
I've seen that one.
It's Tim Allen.
Maybe I have seen it.
His daughter goes away for Christmas. She's like in college and she's not going to be home for Christmas. And they're usually like, they do Christmas up. Like that's their thing.
Yeah.
They decide they're going to go on a cruise and cancel Christmas. They're just not going to decorate. They're not going to buy any gifts. They're just going to forget Christmas and go on a cruise. And I don't know why, but I like it.
I like the Santa Claus, the first one. I think that's Tim Allen too.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to the Denny's because he burns the turkey. And there's a bunch of divorced dudes in there with their kids. And the guy pulls his hand up. He's like, burn the turkey? And he's like,
yeah. That's a lot of good ones. So this is our Christmas episode. This is our Christmas episode. It's the first time we've had a Christmas episode.
We got a jam-packed episode. There
Lots of year-end things to discuss.
There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff out there. So this is our Christmas episode update. Year-end update. Obviously right now, Bonnie, is on everybody's mind is year-end DIR fees and
it's coming.
What that's going to be like. Nobody knows yet, but we'll know here soon. In fact, we're going to be speaking at Pioneer about it in May.
Yeah, that's the first time we've kind of you got a topic that you have to speak about that you can't start to prepare for yet, because the topic was what? It was going to be kind of talking about how that situation, how the DIR fee thing played out. So you can't prepare for that one yet because you don't quite know.
Well, they need a title, so I got to come up with.
But that one is yet to be determined. Be interesting to see how that goes. Fun. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people concerned. People are even concerned that have the cash flow to handle it. So it's going to be an interesting first quarter.
I'll tell you, we're still seeing a lot of pharmacies that are coming through the door here that definitely have a lot of tax opportunities. There's folks, you got to be looking at these tax planning opportunities because we're seeing a lot of, I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some people
still have a couple weeks
with tax planning opportunities.
Yeah.
And I'm still seeing pharmacies come through the door that are doing GLP-1s all everywhere, and they're losing money. So, yeah, obviously everybody on this watching this is not probably doing that, but there's some pharmacies out there that are just
filling them.
Not really, I don't know, not paying attention or mindful of what they're doing there. But
yeah, I mean, it's definitely different.
I'm sure ratio of about 2.5 to 1 is where you need to be. You need to be getting towards, however you need to do that, whether that's from a revenue side, a margin side, an expense side, managing the balance sheet and what's coming off of there, distributions, debt.
And you definitely have to be looking every day at your, your script system and what you're filling and what you're making, your margin on each drug. Picking out the winners, picking out the losers, and determining those losers if they're worth keeping. Mm-hmm. I mean, every day. That's what I would do if I was there.
We're seeing a lot of pharmacies go into the combo shop. Seeing pharmacies looking at other opportunities. I had one do a hospice deal, cash hospice contract. That's been very beneficial for them. So you got to go out there and find those opportunities where you can.
Yep. Diversify some things out. I've got some people looking into infusion pharmacies, closed door, just different opportunities other than just your normal script. So they're out there.
They are.
But yeah, Scotty, we got a couple more weeks for tax planning. I mean, there's still, even though we're heading into, first of the year, there's a lot of things you can do to help your tax situation, even at this point.
There is. One thing I like, I switched to tea, by the way. Coffee was a little hard on my gut. I don't know if there's any pharmacy out there that...
Anybody want to help Scotty out with that?
Gut health. Yeah.
Let us know.
He seems to be working. No, I like, I'm liking some retirement plan options because you can maybe, save 20, 30, whatever amount of tax come April 15th by doing a profit sharing or even a high powered retirement plan option. But you don't have to fund those plans until your calendar year, September.
Right. And that's key for someone who may have a cash crunch in that first quarter from DIR fees. Mm-hmm. You can still get the deduction for that profit sharing plan when you do your tax return. You just don't file it yet.
Yeah.
You can go on extension, no penalties or issues with that, and wait to pay that, which is huge.
Yeah.
Till September. So
I like that one.
Cash basis taxpayers. We got a lot that are prepaying everything they can right now before the end of the year. Non-inventory expenses. So inventory wouldn't count, but people prepaying their rent for the year, some insurances.
Yeah, remember that you can't write off inventory.
Right.
So if that balance sheet on your tax return doesn't show inventory, you got a problem.
Yeah.
That's not in compliance with tax law.
Yeah, we're talking about operating expenses,
Yeah.
but I'm seeing that a lot. People prepaying professional fees, rent's a big one. Insurance, anything that's due in January that, you know, you can go ahead and expense for in December. Write that check or make that payment before December 31st. Take that expense.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you can do like that to bring income down, that is fantastic. It's probably a little late for some equipment installation. We want to make sure everybody realizes that. We've said that a few times. It's got to be in use in the pharmacy. So even if you've purchased it, if it's sitting in a box in the back, the IRS says it is not in use and therefore can't deduct it for the year.
And of course, the PTE tax, pass-through entity tax. We've talked about that and some other items where you elect to pay state tax at the entity level, pharmacy level, and that flows through to your individual return as a credit or something to the state. Every state's different here. But just by essentially what you're doing, just by making this election could save you $5, $10, $15, $20,000 just on how you're paying your state taxes.
Yep.
So, because you're already gonna have to pay state tax, it's just you're paying
just
it.
Who pays it? Yeah.
And it saves you $5, $10, or $15, $20,000. So, definitely definitely doing some of those.
Still seeing a lot of big box chains closing.
Yeah.
Staying open. That's something we're seeing a lot of recently.
I mean, I know ours in town. You go on a
Flip
Saturday
of a coin.
or Wednesday, and that pharmacy's closed.
Didn't have staff.
So, it's crazy.
Which is causing growth in lots of our stores. We've had many clients that I've talked to that are, growth is always great, but they're like, holy cow, like we're being bombarded because the Walgreens down the street or CVS or whoever is closed every day, can't stay open. People are moving their scripts.
Yeah.
So it's great, but it's growth, and growth can cause cash crunches like we've talked about in the past for sure. So I think you mentioned you heard from maybe Live Oak last week about some funding opportunities they're offering.
Send out a mass email, I think, about they've got a new funding option for this particular type of growth. Pharmacy closures, chain closures. From what I read with the flyer they got, it was pretty strict that it was for pharmacy closures. This is not a DIR fee,
right?
Funding vehicle or anything like that. It's if you're seeing a lot of growth with pharmacy closures, Live Oak Bank has a funding program out there to consider.
And it sounded like it was going to be, if all things are, in good shape, a pretty quick one.
Yeah, it seems like it was turnkey. Yeah.
So that's exciting. People should reach out to them on that if they're in that situation for sure. Experiencing growth with the closures. Because growth will suck your cash.
Sure will.
See that a lot with startups. But this is even say with any growth is going to be the same. Because you're paying those wholesaler bills before you're getting paid. So money's going out quicker than it's coming in.
Yep. You got to be careful with growth. And that includes growth with these brand drugs too, because you can get in big trouble there.
Yes.
What else is new out there, Bonnie?
Well, I guess
it wouldn't be a...
I hate to ask. Is there anything new in the ERTC arena these days?
Man, we haven't talked about ERTC. We gave you a little break there a couple months. Might have been almost 3 months since we've
never going to go away.
Update, but there's been some updates.
Hit them. Hit me with them. What are they?
let's see here. There was a court case, not a court case. There was an audit. IRS did an audit of a medical practice in Arizona and urgent care in California. So these are medical practices. And the IRS denied their ERTC. They had a few orders listed, but their arguments were not strong, and they didn't show, which we've said on many podcasts, our ERTC due diligence podcast, go back and listen. Got to show that nominal impact. And that was highlighted in there. There was no mention of the nominal impact it had on the pharmacy for a partial suspension. So those were disallowed.
Ouch.
So, this is just going to keep expanding. The IRS did send out 20,000 rejection letters recently for people who have applied recently. I think a lot of those were fraudulent, like fake businesses and stuff.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure they accepted a majority of them. It must have been pretty obvious.
So, I mean, even, they were just signing off on all of them there for a couple of years. So they put the moratorium in there. We've talked about that on a previous podcast. The freeze is still in. I think it opens up back in January. And then you have maybe through, is it March or April to file? And then after that, ERTC will be out because the statute of limitation to go back will be met. So that they sent out those letters. They've also got the voluntary disclosure program coming out this month, maybe the end of this on. I got the ERC. I don't think it qualified. I want to return the money. So that's, I want to come clean with it before you audit me or whatever type thing.
We've had some clients return the money.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
It's hard to do, but.
Well, they couldn't, the group that prepared it for them couldn't answer the questions. There was no documentation.
No documents to support it. Nothing.
Or if they did, it was like 1-2 pieces of paper. Or it was like 20 pieces of paper and it was just the government orders that were written out.
I saw one of those.
So make it look like it was this big fancy package. So, no nominal.
This will be going on for years.
Yeah, it will be. It sure will be. I had a taxpayer that new client, they got it before they got with us. They got the checks right when they pretty much came on board from the IRS. This back earlier in the year. And we kept reminding them, you need to amend your prior year returns. That's what you're supposed to do. And so he did it. They got the amended returns from the CPA, old CPA. And he owes about $70,000 in tax. Because it's taxable. He has to amend the returns. It's taxable. And so he's having to pay tax on that money. So that's something to consider. Oh, we also had another case for ERTC where a pharmacy sold stock sale. The new owners went and filed for ERTC, probably incorrectly because it was a aggregate group, and this group didn't have the numbers from the other pharmacies that were part of one for ERTC. So that's questionable to begin with. But they've applied for it, and we're telling the new owners, hey, technically you should be getting a new K1, and you as the old owner will be paying tax on this money.
Man,
I don't know if they bake that into the deal or not, but I would be, what, if I was the old owner and I get a random amended K1 with $150,000 of taxable income on it or whatever. This is a big pharmacy, so it's probably closer to $250,000, $300,000.
I have seen one deal where there was some terminology listed about something like that.
What, got it?
Yeah, just if this happens,
like
kind
in
of
a
what they would
deal,
do.
in
the
the deal, yeah. I don't think this was in the deal. So we haven't had that call yet.
Uh-oh.
But that's going to be interesting because this person doesn't like the, she don't like paying taxes. Nobody does.
Well, nobody does.
She's going to be hot. So that's something, these are real world examples of things happening with this ERTC. The IRS did come out, I got my notes here. The IRS did come out with a couple GLAMs, which are General Legal Advice Memorandums. 2023-005, we've talked about this one, was a supply chain argument where the IRS discussed that, saying it's going to be extremely hard to make that argument.
Right.
They also issued GLAM 2023-007. Funny. OSHA communications not considered orders for the ERTC. So if you're doing an OSHA argument, IRS is not too fond of that one. Either way,
they're not being really friendly, are they?
They don't. They're cracking down on this thing. A lot of people are abusing it. This is what happens, and they're playing catch up. So it's gonna go from here.
Ugh, it's gonna get ugly.
I'll tell you what's ugly is this shirt from 1980.
Is that a Christmas shirt?
This is Dad's old shirt. I still rock it.
Really?
Yep, from 1980. I wear it once or twice a year, Christmas time.
Did you go get it out of his closet, or do you now own it?
Yeah. When I was like in high school or college,
You stole it.
I got a few of his shirts. I mean, they are some 80 classics. I have to whip out another one sometime.
You should wear one for each podcast.
Well, I only have like 2 or 3. My wife threw away like 5 of them because she was like, "These are absolute idiots." They're still starched, they still have that starch on them, so they're like cardboard.
I mean,
I like them.
It goes for Christmas for sure.
Yeah, this one's perfect. Yeah, I love this. I don't know if it's like a misprint or something because the logo.
The logo's way down there.
Way is like on my belly button.
I've never seen that.
Tommy Hilfiger.
That may be like a vintage.
Might be.
It might be worth something since it's like it's messed up.
I like it.
I've seen it on the pocket or above the pocket.
Yeah,
below the
usually
pocket.
it's on the pocket. I don't get it.
Does he have his initials in the sleeves? Or he didn't do that back then?
No, I think it was off the rack at Belk's.
He probably gave it to him for Christmas. I hear about your shopping. According to your dad, you do some shopping at his house.
I do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
He says he goes to Costco and puts a bunch of stuff in the garage, and then you come over and take stuff out of the garage and take to your house.
Have I done that before? Yes.
Now you're telling me you're taking his shirts.
Look, if you go into his garage, it's a Costco distribution center in it.
Like pallets.
There's pallets of paper towels and toilet paper.
I mean, you just don't want stuff to go to waste.
There's boxes of green beans stacked to the ceiling. I'm like, how many green beans?
I feel like I should go over there. Kitty litter?
There's bags of kitty litter. Keep going.
I just know he always talked about having to go get kitty litter.
Dish soap, laundry. I mean, you're covered.
So you could live in there for a good amount of time.
Yeah, they could
If
probably
there was like a zombie
out.
apocalypse,
They
you could hang
probably
out.
ride out next year without it. So occasionally
Good to
I'll
know.
just grab a paper towel roll or two.
Paper towels are expensive. I would go there. I'm actually thinking about stopping by this afternoon now that you mentioned there's so many there.
Yeah.
Oh, what else we got, Scotty?
We got the well,
Uh-oh.
there's a whole new reporting requirement that's going to impact all businesses pretty much in 2024. So,
But not for tax
FinCEN,
year 23.
Not for tax year 23.
Thank you.
But FinCEN, which is a branch of the Department of Treasury, not under the IRS, Financial Crimes Enforcement. What is it? Financial Crimes Enforcement
Network.
This is an anti-money laundering thing.
Okay.
As far as I understand it. And essentially all businesses, if you're a LLC and you are the only owner of that LLC and you bring in $1,000 a month, I believe, or a year, you own an LLC. If you own a corporation, if you filed anything with the state to register as a business or a corporation or LLC, or you have to file a report. This is 2024.
$1,000 is the baseline?
No, there is no baseline. You could have no income at all, and you'd have to file this report. You file a report that gives the business information, tax ID number, whatever. And then you also have to list the owners, their address, name, birth date, their ID number, whatever ID number. And so this is all new, starting next year. Now, there are some exclusions. So pretty much this will apply to all pharmacies unless you're excluded. There are some exclusions for big businesses. More than 20 United States employees.
Okay.
Revenue over $5 million on your previous tax return.
Okay.
Was there any others?
So basically all of our pharmacies are going to fall in that a little below or a little above, a lot in that range. So you'll have to, there's going to be
the average pharmacy. The average pharmacy, 4.5 million.
Yeah. You might be close to 20 employees, but maybe not.
Yeah, looking back at previous year to determine, you're going to be having to file this report. Penalties are $500 a day. Civil penalty, criminal penalty is $10,000 plus up to 2 years in prison. This is some serious stuff.
What's the point though with this?
It's I think it's anti-money laundering.
I know, but isn't a lot of this information already on tax returns?
I know. It's just, I don't get it. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a good question. They've already got tax returns.
All that information's there.
The
anyway.
States, I don't know. It's just something new. All these shell companies and stuff trying to get to the bottom of all of it, I guess.
Yeah, figure it out. Bring in some revenue from the fines.
This is foreign entities too, I think. So if you got foreign businesses, you got to look at that. The reporting is due. They're going to scale it in for 2024. So if you're an existing business before 1/1/2024, you have until 1/1/2025 to file the report. So you get a year. New businesses. Let's say you open your new LLC on 1/1/24, your new pharmacy in January. File the state documents. You have 30 days to file the report from there, as far as I understand.
Okay. So it's not going to coincide with the tax return to make it easy. It's going to be a whole separate.
Yeah. Yep. Whole separate thing. So, if we're helping.
Fantastic. It's good.
And here's the other thing. nobody knows who can do these reports. Like, obviously, if you're the owner of the business, you can file your report.
Right.
If you're an attorney, you can do it. There's a lot of questions on whether CPAs can do this report, because is it a practice of law? So some states are like, this is a practice of law. CPA
Right, because it's all the ownership information and all of that good stuff.
So right now, we're not sure if we're going to be able to assist our clients or not. We're looking into it. We're trying to figure it out. So if you're a client of ours, we're working on that. But this is here. It's another thing we got.
Another form.
Another form. Another reporting. Yep. So that's coming. That'll be fun.
Another fun thing people are dealing with now.
On this topic, by the way.
For sure.
Yeah.
Another fun item is interest rates.
Yeah.
They're super fun for folks right now. Definitely causing, when we're looking at financials, when you look at them quickly, I love to look at comparatives year to date. And you look down and you see the income's lower, and it's like, then you got to go figure out why. And that's where you see a lot of it. DIR fees, of course, and then you see that change in interest rates, especially people with adjustable rates, which a lot of our clients are on. With your SBA loans, you can see year over year how much difference that makes when those interest rates rise. So that's a big portion of the difference for a lot of our stores with expenses.
I'll give you an example of this. Good example. We had a pharmacy come to us, and he had bought the store about a year prior, and the due diligence that was performed was not
the best.
Was not the best. Put it this way: he overpaid that pharmacy by $1 million, $2 million bucks. He paid a top premium, way overpaid for the pharmacy, and he has an adjustable.
So it's even worse.
An adjustable loan here, and his interest. I mean, he might not make it.
That's terrible.
I mean, when you look at the pharmacy itself and then the interest he was paying, it was like 10-15% of revenue. It was crazy. There's not much you can do about it.
There's not. Yeah, there's
not a bad deal. I mean,
that's something you don't think about, though. Overpaying is one thing, overpaying, but then also on top of it, the interest going up and then affecting that.
The takeaway is there: if you're buying a pharmacy, you better be doing the right due diligence.
Yeah.
And he had some experienced people in there helping him buy that pharmacy. But it happens.
Wow.
Yes. I don't know. But it is going to cost taxpayers, because I think they've pushed the rate up to 8% now for like underpayment penalties and stuff.
Yep.
So if you're not paying taxes, those estimated taxes, and you're not in the past, it was like 2-3%. It was minimal underpayment penalties.
Right. Now it's a bigger deal.
You never really saw a payment penalty like over a few $1,000. That was for a big taxpayer. But, now that's going to be pushing some serious money.
Yep.
That's going to get your attention, and that's just more money paying the IRS. So be careful of that. Those estimated taxes, you need to be mindful of that now. A little more than maybe you were in the past.
Mileage rate's gone up.
That was released yesterday.
Yep. 67 cents, maybe.
67 cents.
Everything's gone up. It's just like going to the grocery store.
I saw something. The Prince song, "Party Like It's 1999."
Yeah.
Like, forget the party. I want groceries like it was 1999.
There's so many great memes with all of that. It's like, what do you want for Christmas? And groceries and gas will be great. Thank you.
Dude,
Oh,
inflation's no joke, man.
yep.
What else we got, Bonnie? What else is new?
How about the 1099Ks? Anything new on that?
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned this in the past, although it's kind of been ongoing the past couple years because they keep delaying this stuff. But essentially, if you this applies to a lot of people. So if you do any marketplace sales online, or you have a side gig, or even you're using a Venmo app or something, you don't get a 1099K unless it's over $220,000 of transaction.
Right.
That was Congress put in where that goes down to $600. So if you're paying your mom for groceries for that day, 601 or whatever, reimburse them, you'd get a 1099K. So, and then all these taxpayers do this stuff, and all these taxpayers would be getting 1099Ks.
Nightmare.
What the heck is this? And then all these taxpayers would be like, well, I was just reimbursing. But they're going to put that on their tax return. Maybe. Some of them will. And
Some
pay
will.
$600.
Yep.
So they've delayed this again and again. And next year it's going to $5,000.
Positive. In the right direction.
2024, $5,000. You'll get a 1099K. So, and of course, I know the AICPA, our governing body's pushing to I think keep the 5,000.
Keep it, yeah.
Or something, yeah. So we'll see. But,
I mean, 600 is way too low.
Too low.
Nightmare.
AICPA was telling Congress and IRS y'all are nuts.
So much paperwork. Oh my gracious.
So it's worked. Right now it's 5,000 next year, but we'll see where that goes.
Oh. Have you done your Santa shopping, Scotty?
I have not. No.
Or are you one of those dads that on Christmas morning you're just as surprised as the kids? The kids are opening presents, and Clark's like, didn't know we got that.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. And I asked Carol, I'm like, what do you want for Christmas? And she's like, I already bought Christmas. Don't worry about it. So I ask her all the time, just so I can get out of it, be like, what do you want for Christmas? She can't come back there.
The most important thing is, are you cooking for Christmas dinner like you did Thanksgiving?
I am. Prime rib.
Again.
Tradition.
Yeah. You do the cooking, huh?
I do. Chris is going to do the cooking, though. I think date. I'm not. Because we have off on the 26th, and I'm not cooking.
You sit around in that shirt you got on.
I will be wearing this shirt for Christmas. Yes. And Christmas Eve.
I like the shirt. It's good.
And then it goes back into the club.
I like my sweatshirt.
Where do you think you're going to put a tree that big?
It's my favorite movie.
Have you done all your shopping?
It's a tennis racket sitting in here right now that I opened this morning that I ordered. I'm almost done. Like I did everything online.
Well, we got a jam-packed list. We've booked out our podcast through, I think, May.
Yes, very exciting for 2024 for the podcast.
May next year.
Lots of great guests, great topics. Obviously, we'll insert things as they come up.
Oh, yeah.
Hoping to try out some more live podcasts like we've done in the past.
Yeah, we'll have some current events always, current updates thrown in there. Live podcast or two. Going to get some pharmacy owners on, in addition to some random vendors.
Hey, also NCPA is having another ownership workshop in March.
They are.
If anybody listening is thinking about buying or starting up a store, we've definitely talked to some people and some cold calls that have reached out to us about that and sent them that way. It's the first step in the game, in my opinion, to hit that up. So they're definitely, that sign up for that is ongoing. I know they, I think you can do that on their website.
What
March.
is that? March when?
I don't think that they have 100% set the date. But I know it's March. And then again, ahead of McKesson this summer, and then ahead of NCPA in the fall. So 3 of those available for 2024. I will not be with the McKesson one. I will be out of the country, but you are going to fill in for me for that one. So if anybody wants to hit up Scotty at the NCPA ownership workshop in June,
I'll be there. Yep.
You said you would.
I guess so. I'd be remiss if we didn't mention Kendell and where he is.
Yes.
I'm sure that our loyal listeners are wondering. Mr. Kendell has decided to move into a part-time role here. Focus on some personal issues that is in his life, and we support that. And
100%.
let him take a step back from the podcast. Door's always open for Kendell when and if he wants to come back on the cast.
Absolutely.
He'll be making a cameo next year sometime.
Of course.
And
might bring on some other staff members, team members here.
We could
mix it up here and there.
We might. We're taking applications for a third host.
Auditions,
yeah. So that's our man Kendell, and
love Kendell.
Yeah, we support him and wish him to be back here soon on the podcast with us. I think that's it, Bonnie. I think that's all. I know.
That's a good summary. Wrapping up the year here. Very interesting 2024.
It is. You know, we might have to do some live podcasts, like updates.
Yes.
As the stuff unfolds. I'm thinking we're going to have a lot of good data to show and present at Pioneer in May.
Yeah, that'll be a good
16th or something.
That'll be a good talk to hear real life examples and how it all played out. Again, we don't know yet.
Yeah, so we'll have some numbers for April. We'll have some numbers through May at that time. And so we'll have some data.
Yep, we'll be able to have some real data and see how it played out.
Yeah, so it's going to be exciting. Now,
hopefully we'll be able to say that it wasn't as bad as we expected.
That's the hope. I saw the NCPA pushed out, or CMS is continuing to push. NCPA in their QAM this morning mentioned how CMS is continuing to push PBMs and such to be mindful of all this stuff. I mean, God only knows what they'll do, but we'll see.
Yep.
And I might not be there in May.
That's right. Are you going to make an announcement to the podcast? To the listeners?
We have a number 2 on the way.
It's a baby. It's another baby Sykes.
I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Freaking out. But
Oh, the baby can make an appearance when it gets here.
What, on the podcast?
Yeah. The big reveal. Baby's here. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. At least it's after tax season.
Yeah, if you work here, you know you have to plan that thing like that. Done it a few times. I did have a baby in January one time accidentally.
Whoops.
That didn't go over real well.
I'm pretty sure.
But all the others were born in the summer.
I'm pretty sure you were still working like into January.
I was still working. I was at home working. I was working here. I was working.
Yeah.
But that was bad. I remember being like, that was a hard one to tell. Oh, congratulations. What do you do? January.
Oh, man.
Good times.
Tax season's coming up, y'all. Get your tax planning done. Get it in there. There's things you can do.
And be nice to your accountants and your CPAs during those January, February, March timeframe when they're bugging you for information every other day. It's a lot to do during that time.
Unless you're Bonnie. Email her every day and say, where the hell?
Leave me alone.
All right, everybody. Well, we wish everybody a
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year. And we appreciate everybody subscribing and listening in. We've enjoyed this podcast. I don't know what episode we're on. Everybody counts episodes. I guess we need to start counting episodes.
We do need to start doing that.
I guess the bottom line is here we are in accountants and we're not even counting our episodes.
Maybe starting in 24, we need to know where we are for our first one in 24, and we need to know.
So that's the bottom line.
We're accountants.
Thank you to our listeners and for all you guys do in your communities and serving your patients.
Yes.
Your communities value you guys and you're doing the right thing. So we appreciate that. And we appreciate the opportunity to help.
Yep.
Help in a little way here with this podcast. So with that, sign them off, Bonnie.
Merry Christmas and happy 2024. Exciting to see how it goes.
Sykes and Company, yes.